Hey everyone, it's Dave here.
And it's Tom, and we're back with a comparison of Mirror's Edge Catalyst on all three formats. If you stick around, we'll be covering PC towards the end, but for now we thought we'd cover the consoles, where actually PS4 and Xbox One are pretty close overall, barring that resolution difference. That'd be 900p versus 720p on Xbox One. Now the thing is, we found the differences between the beta on Xbox One and its final state that you'll be playing now to be quite a ways more interesting. So what are we seeing here?
Well, in the beta I found that the Xbox One was missing a few effects present on PlayStation 4 and PC, but these have actually been reinstated for the final game. So we've got rain in various cutscenes now appear in all three formats, and on top of that we've actually got water reflections on puddles on the ground on console, whereas previously that was a specific PC exclusive effect.
Oh, interesting. So that's applicable to both consoles now?
It is, yeah.
As for the other effects, we're missing motion blur this time.
Yeah, that's completely gone. On PC you can still select it, but there's no way of bringing it back for consoles, so...
What else? There's the lighting model's seen some changes as well.
This is more of an aesthetic thing applicable to all three formats, is DICE have just shaken up the lighting model, made some scenes brighter, more vibrant, others a bit darker, so it's not really a technical change, but it just affects the look of the game overall in different scenes.
And looking at this shot, we've got more building geometry in the background.
On Xbox One in the beta there was a lot of scenery sort of being culled in the distance, but in the final game that's not actually the case, and we see buildings that were previously missing present on Xbox One, so it matches up a lot more closely with the other versions. And on top of that we've also got additional effects too, so there's alpha based mist across rooftops which is more liberally deployed, and in terms of sort of bug fixes, the streaming of light sources is a lot quicker now, so they no longer load in later than the rest of the assets.
So we're getting down to the fine details at this point, aren't we? With that said, let's look at the final comparison, how these games have shaped up as you'll buy them now. PS4 versus Xbox One. Again, the biggest difference you'll see here is the resolution, 900p on PS4, 720 on Xbox One. And how do you think that's measured up in terms of the way the game's delivered? Does it look really rough on Xbox, or is it actually passable?
Well, to be honest, if you've played previous DICE games like Battlefield 4, then image quality is actually pretty similar in Mirror's Edge, so it does look a bit too rough in my opinion. There's lots of jaggies and the presentation is really quite blurry, which is unfortunate.
That's odd, because when I was playing Battlefront, I actually thought the handling of even 900p and 720p native resolutions were okay in that case. They seem to hold up decently enough, even though you really expect more from these consoles. But in this case, I think the aesthetic, the kind of high contrast details, actually work against that. It means the upscale is a bit rougher, and it just doesn't play well with the algorithm DICE are using here.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help. The PlayStation 4 version at 900p does fare a lot better. It's a little soft, but we don't get the same kind of rough edged look that the Xbox One game is prone to. So in terms of the PC game, the transition from the beta to the final release has seen quite a few upgrades. So we've got a brand new hyper graphics preset, which is the highest it will go, and this gives us higher resolution shadows, better draw distances, and faster level of detail sort of scaling. So you just get a more pristine, more polished looking game as a result. However, there was one aspect that has seen a little downgrade, and that's depth of field. It's basically a little less aggressive in the final release. But on the plus side, we do get to see sharp out of focus details.
Right, well, with all that combined on the hyper preset, let's compare it to the PS4. These are both the final builds, PS4 versus PC. Obviously, PC has the advantage with a native 1080p resolution. It's a big difference for a game like Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And what else do you see?
Well, other than that, we've got slightly higher resolution textures, but the biggest difference, I guess, is the level of detail streaming. As you can expect on PC, we see the use of higher quality assets, on distance scenery, and extra geometry detail. On top of that, we get all the usual upgrades too, so much higher quality shadows, along with a more advanced method of ambient occlusion. So there's a horizon based version on PC which is a bit more refined and more natural.
Whereas on PS4 we have the screen based version, don't we?
Yes, standard SSAO.
Cool, and on top of that we got motion blur back on PC, which is a nice feature for those who want it.
Yeah, so they're all the main upgrades you can expect on PC. And as we've seen on a lot of titles, these are more refinements. Now if you're playing in native 1080p or above, then they are noticeable improvements over the console versions. But at the same time, the PS4 version still looks pretty decent compared to the PC, and it runs at 60 frames per second too.
Well, thanks for giving us that rundown, Dave. If you found this comparison useful, please do give us a like or subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching.